You're right. Is it just me, or does this time of year just suck? Fancy coming for a walk, bit of a chat, or you can just sit there and have a coffee. Either way, enjoy. Hey, how you doing? I think you can just about see me, sort of like, I do like my earthy colours, don't I? But welcome to another video, and yeah, welcome to what I would probably describe as my sort of like escape place. You know, I live in a city, there aren't much, there's not a lot of space where you can sort of get out, clear your head, and there's this wonderful, nice, long park, which I shoot in every now and then. It's a way of just getting myself out of the studio. It's a way of getting myself out of the sort of like the cabin fever, which becomes my home after a while. And I think that's what this video is a little bit about at the moment. Because obviously, like I said in the opening part of it, like, is it me or just this part of the year just suck? I'm going to go into a bit more detail on that in a second. Because this is sort of like a little bit about self-worth and your own mental well-being. When it comes to a stage where you are self-employed, it's just generally you don't have the luxury of going to a sort of a job with an office or group of people where you can just sort of like blah every now and then. But it's just your four walls, bit of cabin fever, and that's why I'm pleased that I have discovered this lovely, this really nice space to just go for a walk, just to go for a chill really. But what I think I mean by this time of year can suck. I don't know if many other people who are self-employed, especially photographers, especially within the creative aspect of what we do, even actors, because I've always found that January and February have been so slow that all of the hard work that you put into the year before, for the last 12 months, just seems to sort of stop, and you've got to reset and you've got to start again for the new year. And, you know, it hasn't helped that, you know, I've started this year reasonably well. I was getting right into it, and then I caught this really horrible bug. I mean, it was nasty. Like, patient zero came into the living room and just sneezed. And because a teenager does not have a concept of sort of like, you know, personal space, just literally spread it amongst all of us. So 2.5 weeks I was out. Like, I don't get ill often, but this one really knocked me for 6. So yeah, so look, I felt like for the last 2.5 weeks, almost 3, since I've last done my last video and since I've last been out trying to shoot and doing all this sort of stuff, I've not been able to have the mental capacity to get myself up and get myself going again. And yeah, coming here to do this video is actually, I had to kick myself on the backside to do it. But yeah, we're just gonna keep walking, because as you can see behind me is this wonderful nice little river. Up there where there's a lock and there's a cafe, which I'm gonna go and have a nice coffee and relax for a little while before I go home and then try to start planning for the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks going forward. But I thought I'd just bring you along and have a bit of a chat about trying to get yourself into a mindset, trying to get yourself into sort of out of a rut that sometimes you can find yourself in. So let's go for a bit more of a walk up this way. Hopefully the wind's not being too much of a pain in the butt. So yeah, this is sort of like, I don't know what to call this really. Like, this is not going to be an exciting video. You're not going to learn anything. You might take something away from it to help you sort of understand when you have your own sort of type of mental block. Now, how I'm feeling at the moment is very sort of like peculiar, but it also feels a way very familiar as well, because I do feel that I go through the same emotions this time of year, and as much as I try to kick myself up the backside every single time, it just seems to be sort of like a constant sort of circle that I spend the first few months trying my best to start growing, to start building something up. Now, I know a lot of it's got to do with the fact that, yeah, I use the same excuses that it's just after the holidays, it's just after Christmas, it's just after this, and people are starting to build more and more things up. But I also have to look at what I did achieve last year, and it seems to be quite a fair bit. I'm in a better position than I was the year before, well, this time last year, so and so. So there are positives. And even though I do feel that I'm about 3.5 weeks behind my own personal plan, for me and my own mental health and my own sort of like well-being, it's because I had to take that moment to recover. Like, I was trying to force myself to get up and to do something. Like I've just previously said, even to do this video, I felt like I had to force myself to bring my camera with me to talk to you guys. Otherwise, I would have never have done it. And it's a bit like procrastinating. Procrastinating? Putting things off. I put things off very well. I've always done that. I've always been sort of like, if I don't try, I won't succeed. That's never been my mindset. But sort of like, I know that I can do it. So what I'll do is that when I'm at home, and I think the problem about when you work from home is that you always have that, I have one more coffee, or, you know, I've got an extra day before it needs to be finished, so I'll do it tomorrow. And I love the fact that I work from home. I love the fact that I've seen my children grow up. I've seen their first steps and I've heard their first word. And I get to spend this quality time with them before they become teenagers and they don't want to hang out with mum and dad anymore, which has happened with the oldest 3. But you do get yourself into a sort of like a little bit of a mental block. And especially when you've had to be forced to take a break because of an illness or being poorly or anything else like that, to have that sort of like kick, it can be quite difficult. So me doing this, me coming out here to clear my heads, but then to also bring you with me to talk to you guys, to start again, is my way of giving myself that boot, giving myself that kick on the backside. Let's go and find the calf and let's see what we can do going forward. So the calf was quite a fair bit busy, so I decided I wasn't going to do any filming while I was there. But, you know, I had a nice little coffee and I chatted to some of the people there because they're generally quite friendly in that place. And what I ended up doing is I went across the sort of lock and I've walked down the other side of the river, and I've come back to where I sort of started the first part of this video, which makes sense. Like, I've inadvertently gone full circle and I'm now back where I started, which is sort of like what I'm trying to, I suppose, the point that I want to make within myself for this video. And it just sort of like, it always feels like you do full circles. But when you're working for yourself, like, I've been self-employed for a very long time now, and I always feel that every single year I start again. I'm sort of like, am I a step forward? Am I 2 steps back? And everything like that. So it just sort of, it does, to try to get my mindset back into the stages of trying to sort of say that I am actually forward from where I was, and I am actually going in the right direction. Even if I do take the step back where I take a couple of weeks off because of my health or anything else like that, or because I just like, do you know what, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. That I'm not always necessarily in the same place. Like, I've deliberately sat on this bench, not the bench on the other side, to say I am in a different place. Even though I have gone full circle, I am somewhere different. And going back to one of my first videos I've done this year, that, you know, the inspiration which I got from The Rock with the whole idea of, you know, is it going to be one day or day one? I do still have that type of mentality. I've always had that mentality, even going into this year. But every now and then you get a setback. You get your own sort of mental block. And that's okay. For me, that's okay. You're allowed to have that mental block. And I know this video's not been exciting. And I know it's not necessarily going to sort of like turn YouTube on its head and make me thousands of pounds. If anything, this video is more for me. It was my way of just getting off my butt and making a video again. Not going into the city, not doing this, not doing that, just talking to the camera again. So if you have liked it, and I hope you have, you know what to do. I'm not going to go into the whole sort of typical YouTube thing, but you know where I'm going with this. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for just, even if it's just random BS, me just chatting crap. This has helped me. And I hope with the understanding, the underlining of what this video is about has in fact helped you. But guys, I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to go and get my bus home and going to go shopping because Fee's at work tonight. And I'm going to see if I can edit this video into something half decent. Find some nice music. And yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And then I'm going to try to make the next video a little bit more fun. And yeah, until next time, guys, thank you so much for everything that you guys do for me. It doesn't go unnoticed. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you.